'Tis the old ship of
For centuries, food has been more than a meal. It is a way to bring people, families, communities, and cultures together. It is a way for us to express appreciation and gain understanding of different traditions and cultures in every corner of the world.
My name is Diane Lee Clemens. So for me, I grew up in the United States. My parents had 8 kids. We lived in a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. And we didn't have a whole lot growing up. So for us, food was a major part of how we came together. My mom was an amazing cook, and she always seemed to be able to make something out of nothing. She learned how to just create recipes and throw things together, whatever was in the cupboard. And she had a knack of just making everything taste amazing. And that's how I learned to cook. I would go into the kitchen with my mom. Funny thing, we all, because it was 8 kids, and my mom worked, my dad worked, so what she did was every day, each child had a day to cook. And so we learned how to cook pretty early on. And then she would take us in the kitchen. She would let us watch her as she cooked. And when we didn't quite understand something, what she would do is she would take our hand and she would put it on top of her hand, and she'd say, now close your eyes. So we close our eyes, and she'd say, okay, now I want you to stir. And then she'd lift the spoon and she'd say, feel the weight of it. Feel the consistency of it. And we would do that. And that's how I learned to cook. Basically, there was no recipes. There was no a teaspoon of this or a cup of this, or a pinch of this. We just sprinkled. We just watched her. And amazingly, everything she cooked was perfect. I don't know how, but that's how I cook today. I don't measure anything. I just put things in a bowl, in a pot, and it just comes out beautifully. So for us, food growing up and just sitting around the table, around that dining room table, I remember it so vividly because a lot of my memories come from our dining room table. So food was an essential part for me growing up. We would often, before we would eat sometimes, she would look at us and say, sing a hymn. And we would look at each other because I come from a singing family, so all of my siblings could sing. My dad sang in a traveling quartet, my mom sang in the choir, and all 8 of us, we sang. So we would just start singing, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Just old hymns and the harmony that we had around that dining room table while that food was sitting in front of us. It was magic. So food means a lot to me growing up, and now that I have my own family and my own home, and I love cooking for other people. I love inviting people over, and I just love watching people enjoy what I make. So food is an essential part of who I am and how I grew up.